How was WandaVision? Good. Would I recommend it? No. Why? Well, there's plenty to like in WandaVision. Amazing performances, likable leads, reference to previous entries that doesn't feel cheap, silly humor that works, great cliffhanger, uninterrupted emotional content. And what stood out to me the most is the unexpected horror elements. I know Vision is dead, but I didn't expect in WandaVision to see this. This shot doesn't end abruptly either. It takes its time on the screen and turns from being scary to heartbreaking. I was cringing in a good way when Vision's skin was pulled off of his face. I had goosebumps seeing his separated body parts on 5-6 different tables. I was satisfied with the show for the most part up until the finale. Many liked the finale, but to me it was too disjointed. Yes, Marvel has the reputation of jumping the shark in the third act, but in WandaVision it was too noticeable. We viewed the whole world inside the hex in the previous episodes in a TV sitcom format, from 50s sitcom in episode 1 to 2010's modern family format in episode 7. All of a sudden it's abandoned in the finale. Instead of doing something more creative with the sitcom format, Marvel totally avoids the whole thing to play it safe. That's why the last 2 episodes doesn't look or feel like the part of the series. Maybe episode 8 could start in 50s again to show a recursive pattern. Maybe all the eras could collide with each other more and more. Or maybe the entire finale could be a modern family episode. If out of nowhere, right after Wanda defeats Agnes, it cuts to Wanda talking straight to the camera.
Only the witch who cast them can use her magic. Thanks for the lesson.
That makes more sense than telling this to her face to face when she clearly figured it out herself, only so that the audience can hear it. Yes, this looks silly and cuts the intensity, but we have a great scene afterwards which would make up for it. I'd rather take the little nod suggests this than completely forgetting about the key feature of the rest of the show. The villains didn't work for me either. The witch reveal has a fake build-up. Fake because the show didn't build it up, the comic and the internet did it for them. To someone like me, who didn't read the comics, who didn't Google anything, involving magic in a non-magical narrative was the most random turn a show can take. Being a superhero is not the same as being a witch. Seeing Scarlet Witch turn into an actual witch is like seeing Black Panther turn into a panther. Literally. It's a complete different category in the fantasy genre that you can't slap it in the end and call it a plot twist. The little clues that we see don't necessarily tie magic into the narrative. These scenes can be explained by the twist because anything can be explained by magic. Yes, wizards exist in this universe. So does aliens, time traveling, mythical beings. Anything is possible here. In fact, there's an entire chapter devoted to the anything is possible excuse in the book called Deus Ex Machina. If Marvel needed Wanda to have magical powers, they should have started out that way. A show has to stand on its own script and not on the comic. I've heard this argument before. Why should a movie based on a comic explain the story, where a sports movie doesn't have to explain the rules? This show is like a movie about football that has a hockey match as a finale. Besides, there's a limited amount of rules that one needs to know. If one doesn't know the comics, there are endless possibilities that anything can happen. Marvel can bring elements from the comic that doesn't throw off the general audience, and the comic book fans can still make so much out of it. So I guess the comic fans and researchers got some sort of setup. I didn't, and that's why I didn't get any payoff. The entire section was like a filler to me, and we all like a good filler, just not in the middle of a finale. The entire time I was just waiting for them to get to the part which actually has a build-up. Let's accept and move on. Maybe I'm the only one who has problems with it. So Agatha put on an act of a friendly neighbor to get close to Wanda. Even brought back, Pietro to know her secrets. In the end, she offered Wanda a deal that she'll fix her hex if Wanda gives her power to Agatha. Then why did she drop the friendly personality? She could still pretend to be her friend even when she comes out as a witch. She had more chances to persuade Wanda to give her power to a friend. She told Wanda about her chaos magic, which will danger the world. She could persuade her to surrender her power to a better person, which Agatha could easily pretend to be. If that didn't work, she then could get to her bad cop routine. And I don't think a show has to answer every question. Some of them can be left to the imagination. But some questions just made me feel that the showrunners didn't care to have the answer to. My favorite part in the finale is Vision versus Vision, but that also has some problems. First of all, White Vision is programmed to destroy the Vision Who wrote this command? Couldn't it be more specific? No one thought Wanda or Vision will try to talk to this white Vision and tell him he is the original Vision? Why could not the program be destroy the Hex Vision or Purple Vision and don't tell anyone about it? Fine, I don't know anything about programming. Maybe that was too complicated. And Elliot Alderson wasn't available. But why destroy the Vision? What exactly did Vision do to trigger Hayward? Didn't the only thing Hayward wanted is Vision as a weapon? After so much, when he finally got him, he risks him to challenge an equally powerful being who didn't pose a real threat? What is he even doing here? Why he wants to bring down the Hex? Does he care about the people of Westview? Does he consider Wanda to be a threat to the society? Then these are reasonably good motives. Even trying to use Vision as a weapon is not an evil thing. Tony Stark and Bruce Banner built Vision as a weapon in the first place. Hayward's action only makes sense if he is a tough general with good intentions. Marvel had everything lined up for making a complicated antagonist, but they went with the cartoon bad guy instead. Another thing that bugged me is Monica Rambeau. She's not a character. She's a walking, talking commercial for another movie. After episode 3, I don't remember a single scene where she moved the plot forward. Did she stop Hayward? No. Could she change Wanda's mind? Doesn't look like. Did she fight Agnes or White Vision with her unexplained superpower she got out of nowhere? Nope. She fought with Boner, who looks like wasn't going out of his room anyway. She also saved the kids, who didn't really need saving. People are mad this character didn't matter at all. I'm mad that Monica didn't make any real impact. Compare this to Black Panther in Civil War. Black Panther has a much better introduction in the MCU because he's heavily involved with the main plot. Both T'Challa and Monica lose a parent, but T'Challa's father's death is linked to the plot. Both have superpowers, but Black Panther is posing as a real threat to the protagonist and the antagonist. T'Challa also wasn't successful at his attempts, but if you cut out his scenes, Civil War loses a lot of its intensity. Can't say the same about Monica. Many think people didn't like the finale because their theories didn't come true. Don't think so. 90% of my theories of Mr. Robot didn't come true. That's my favorite finale of all time. I'm disappointed when a good show has an average ending. I wouldn't be disappointed if an average show had that ending. The reason so many Marvel movies turn out to have an average ending is because by the end Marvel tries to satisfy everyone. There's a little philosophical angle, then there's a little emotional angle, then there's a big CGI battle, then there's some actions. That's why Marvel is the best average thing out there, when I know they can do much better. Agree? Disagree? Let me know. Like if you like, share if you like, subscribe if you like.